Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Auto Existence. Today we're going to be making a seat rack for a center seat. Now the Bronco had a toughy metal center console, but it was all beat up, so I ended up taking that out and I ended up finding a factory center console from a Bronco in the junkyard. Now I took that one out, I sanded it down, I painted it, and I had that in the truck for a while. The reason why I'm going for a center seat is for a variety of reasons, but one of the big reasons is these center consoles. Here, I'll show you this one now. This is a center console that I took out of the Bronco. Now this sits on the floor. When you're driving and you have a drink, for instance, which I do pretty much all the time, especially when I'm going on a long drive, having a cup down here on the floor, reaching down for it, annoying in my opinion. Also, going on these road trips, a lot of times I have my puppy in the front seat. So with that front seat, my dog is so big, so he has a lot of trouble just kind of sitting in the front seat. So I figure if I put a center seat in the truck, he won't have so much trouble. He could lay down and still stick his head out the window. Also, a lot of times with the Bronco, the center armrests on both seats, they're just kind of, I don't know, they flop around. I don't really like them, and you can't really lean on it without it being kind of uncomfortable. You know, these old Ford trucks, certain F-150s especially, came with a center console seat that fold down with cup holders and a little cubby, as well as being able to fold up and being utilized as a seat. For some strange reason, trying to find them on eBay or online, they're pretty much impossible to find whole, one, and also they tend to be really expensive, which I don't know why. So I've been troving junkyards for a long time trying to find one because it would be in a bolt-in deal. However, I can't seem to find one. Usually they get plucked really quick from the junkyard, so it ends up being that they're just none around. Either that or most of the vehicles just don't end up having them. I was looking at some other trucks that had a center console / armrest. And with the measurements I found, I actually ended up pulling a center console seat from a 1990s Dodge Ram. It's a perfect size. The cloth color is very similar. It has a bigger cubby than the Ford one, and it just seems a little bit more plush. I got it from the junkyard for $20, so it's better than the $200+ that a lot of these center console seats end up costing. The only problem with pulling something from a different make and model is it's not bolt-in. We're gonna have to make a seat bracket out of some raw steel that I got from Home Depot. So now Bane and I are gonna go ahead and make it. So we're just gonna bring the truck inside and see if we can't make something out of nothing. So I've had a little bit of a head start on the rear portion. This is the back of the seat. Got to prop it up a little bit, that way it's level with the other seats. And I got this little support piece I'm going to weld in here. That way it doesn't bend, because I actually had it in there. I just took it to the beach and I was just resting my arm on it and it bent these out, which I expected. It wasn't done. I was just hastily put it in there. So I cut this piece and then I ground it down with a file and a sander. We're going to tack that in there. Now we just have to make a front piece. I'm probably making this a little overcomplicated, but I'm just going to weld these here. And I foresee it bending here, but you know, I'm not going to be putting a ton of weight on this thing, so I'm not really too worried about it. Got to get the non-chlorinated, no chlorinated solvents, but you can use brake clean as long as it's not chlorinated. quick tack.
Oh honey, though our friendship ceases from now on, please don't talk about me when I'm gone. Oh honey, though our friendship ceases from now on.
So now it's all tacked, so now we can work on the front portion, and I can clean up this metal a little bit more. I was getting a little bit of, when I started the weld puddle, I could see a little bit of impurity, so I'm gonna have to clean that a little bit better, but it's fine, I just tacked it together. In order to get the seat console in here, you have to remove the armrest, existing armrest on the seats that are here. So I did that, which is pretty easy, it's just one bolt. There were some holes here for the center console to screw into. So what I did was I used some nutserts where it's kind of like a rivet except with threads. So you rivet those in there and then you can put the screw. And I just put those screws in there for now. And then we're gonna mock up something right here. I didn't want it to be like screwed in with a sheet metal screw. I just think that's kind of half-ass. So we're gonna put something in there with the actual bolt. So now the rear is tacked in place and bolted on, and you can see how it doesn't sit quite right, so we're gonna have to build the front. So that's with it open. It sits about right with the seats in line. This is underneath the seat, and you can see my little bolt holes and where it's supposed to mount those two bolts there, and we're gonna make a small bracket of some sort. Just gotta figure out what's the best design for it. So my plan to make the front base of the seat support is I'm gonna make like an upside down trapezoid. So we're gonna have to do some math here. I know it probably seems really simple to most of you guys out there, but math was never my strong suit. So we're gonna take some measurements of the seat and the distance in between the bolts, and then the distance in between the bolts on the floorboard, and we'll try to make a little bit of a guess on how this shape should be, so I can bend that little piece of sheet metal. If you ever need a quick template for hole size, transferring it to like another piece, use a piece of tape and cut it out with an X-Acto knife. Now we can take it over here and I can lay it up onto here.
Please don't talk about me when I'm gone. Oh honey, though our friendship ceases from now on. If you can't say anything real nice, it's better not to talk at all, is my advice.
Front part's done. Pretty happy with some of the welds that came through. I'm no professional welder by any means, but pretty happy with those. Quick test fit. See it's the rear mount. So I'm gonna make a tab that ties directly into the factory hole there. Still not bolted down, but you can see the front mount. Alright guys, day 2 of the seat bracket build for my center console. I got a fresh tank of argon gas since I ran out a couple days ago, so we're gonna go ahead and get back to work on finishing it. All I have to do is connect the two pieces, front and rear, and then paint it, and then get it secure inside the cab, and then we can put the seat down permanently.
When I'm gone, oh honey, so our friendship ceases from now on. If you can't say anything real nice, it's better not to talk at all, is my
So the center console is much bigger than the factory Ford one. It has a really large center console space, even with little change holders. Opens up just like a regular seat. Almost looks like it should be here. It's kind of the similar colors, you know, all those 90s grays. And I actually found the center console cup holder. That's the one thing I would be missing from this, but this is really nice because it just slips right in and secures pretty good. So now I have a cup holder, and I thought one thing I was concerned about was that it would interfere with the stick shift, but they put this here. I imagine the Dodge Rams that these came in had all the similar center consoles, so the NV4500 manual transmission that came in those diesel Dodge Rams, they needed a little indent for second gear for low range, and obviously it doesn't get in the way of first, and all the way into fifth, no problem. Fourth is no problem. And then there's reverse. So it doesn't get in the way at all. But now me and my puppy aren't gonna have any problems. We're gonna go for a little drive. Do you like it, Bane? Room to stretch out in the front seat with Papa? I'm really glad this junkyard center console really worked out. It looks like it's meant to be here. It fits great. With a little bit of custom work, you can pretty much accomplish anything with these little projects. So this is gonna be a great addition for, especially when I go on these long road trips. Something to rest my arm on that's a little bit more substantial. I'll be able to store stuff in there. I kind of plan to put some switches in there maybe. There's a lot of ideas that are coming for just the center console. Thanks again for watching, guys. You can find me on Instagram and Facebook at Auto Existence. If you like what you see, please like and subscribe to my channel, Auto Existence. And we have a lot more stuff coming. You guys can check out my website. Hopefully soon I'll have some hats and t-shirts and stickers, etc. So thanks for watching. This is Auto Existence. See you next time.